Yamakusamasankasham Kashyapya Mahaduting Dvantaring Sarva Papaghnang.
The city awakens. A day begins. The Ganga has always held India's heart perpetually captive. She has drawn uncounted millions to live along her banks since the dawn of civilization. The story of the Mother Ganga from her source to the sea is basically the story of her humble offspring since time immemorial. The river intensely involves herself with the livelihood, the sorrows, and the sufferings of common man, and looks after their physical and spiritual well-being. The story of the Ganga is the story of India's civilization and culture, of the rise and fall of empires, of the adventure of man, and the quest in the minds of the great thinkers. The story of the Ganga is the story of ups and downs, of growth and decay, of life and bereavement. Thus the mortal remains burn to ashes and are carried away into the embrace of her sacred waters. The advent and growth of industries since the Industrial Revolution in India have contributed to incessant collection of filth in the bosom of the river. The wastes generated by the cities are also resources. These deserve proper harnessing. The city effluents carry millions of tons of wastes, day in and day out, right into her bed, choking the lifeline of the river. The unplanned, uneven growth of human habitation on the riverbanks, the complete disregard of the planners and administrators through the decades have resulted in severe deposition of silt on the riverbed. This has raised the riverbed in many places much above the normal water level. It may look propitious to cultivate on the riverbed, but is it not another sign of a threatened river? Cities are born on the riverbanks. The Ganga provides nourishment to us through ages. But do we reciprocate? We consume resources in unbound quantities and contribute refuse in equal proportions. We care little for the impact that is confronting our future. This again is a common phenomenon in many big cities, the result of utter disregard to scientific planning. Planned living needs due scientific inputs. The Ganga Action Plan was drawn up almost a decade back to add life to the river. This would not only clean the Ganga, but also recover the resources running along with the filth. A common Indian practice among the poor, mass defecation in the open has now been checked by community sanitation facilities. Instead of open crematoria, electric furnaces have now become popular. Municipal supply of safe drinking water has been made possible only after treatment of the polluted water from the same river. At Kamarhati, the Ganga Action Plan has created sewage treatment plants like many others, set up not only to treat the filth, but also retrieve resources. City sewage running down the open drains are pumped and fed into the intercepting sewer. The sludge gets separated and is charged into huge digesters. Black stinking water is thus separated from the effluents, further treated and retreated. The treated effluent and enlivened flow of water is obtained as a valuable recovery. The sludge is digested to generate methane, the inflammable gas. Residual remains are used as rich manure. Human excreta, a perpetual problem for any municipal authority in the world, is tackled here by a very simple technology to generate biogas. The dual resource thus generated is used as fuel for power generation. As a part of the Ganga Action Plan, broken and dilapidated embankments are repaired, helping both citizens and the river as well. Till the recent past, open drains in Chandanagar and Chunchura as well were being fed directly to the river. As a measure in the action plan, the drains are not allowed to carry sewage into the river anymore. The sewage is pumped back to the sewage treatment plant in Chandanagar. The filthy water is treated and retreated to decrease the level of pollutants to a safer level. The treated water is now allowed to meet the river. On the way, fish culture and agriculture are supported. Sewage water is also treated in oxidation ponds under natural conditions. The comparison between untreated and treated water is obvious. The decomposition of separated sludge produces biogas. The remaining solids are used as rich manure. Sanitary landfill is yet to come. However, solid wastes are still getting dumped to cover up unhygienic swamps in the city fringes, and it reclaims newer land for the city's growth. Concerned, conscious citizens often express anguish over the status of the river Ganga. The devotees do not doubt the purity of the river, while the planners are busy adding newer technologies to existing action plans. But the ever-flowing river Ganga flows flawless. She has her own natural means to clean up herself. Days in and days out, the knock and pluck of the tide acts as an effective cleansing mechanism. The Ganga has been a symbol of India's age-old culture and philosophy, ever changing, ever flowing, and yet forever the same Ganga.